Alright guys, welcome back. We have another video here on drawing Gantt charts based on a table of dependencies. So we're going to work through the full example of drawing this Gantt chart for this project. And if you stick around till the end of the video, I'll put a link up for another video that I did that draws the network diagram and finds the critical path for this exact same project. So that might be helpful for you as well. So getting started with this, if you're drawing Gantt charts by hand, it is pretty helpful to use some graph paper or at least draw out a coordinate axes with your activities on the vertical side and your duration along the x-axis. As we get started here, we're going to take a look at our first initial activities. So those would be the activities that don't have any predecessors. So that's going to be A, B, and C. They're all going to start at the very beginning of the project. So for example, activity A starts at the beginning and has a duration of 2 days. So we're really just going to start it up at 0 and go across 2 days. Activity B also starts at 0 because it has no predecessor and it's 3 days long. So we're going to start it up at 0 days and we're going to jump over 3 days just like this. And activity C also starts at 0 because it has no predecessor and it's only 1 day long. So we're going to start at 0 and come over here to the end of the first day. All right, now activity D can't start until A is finished and it's 2 days long. So we have to come to the Gantt chart, find where activity A ends. We're going to drop down that line to activity D and we're going to draw on activity D here for 2 days. So 1, 2, just like this. Then looking at activity E, it depends on B and C. So it can't start until B and C are both finished. And activity E is 4 days long. So let's find out where B finishes. It is here at the end of the third day, and C is here at the end of the first day. So we have to start after both of those are finished. So we're going to be starting here clearly after the end of the third day, or it's also the beginning of the fourth day. And we're going to draw on E here to be 4 days. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then looking at activity F, it only depends on D, so it has to start after D finishes, and it's also just 1 day long. So we find where D finishes, and we're going to drop down to F, and we can just draw this on simply as a block of 1 day. Then moving on to activity G, it can start after D and E are both finished and it's 3 days long. So again, we're going to find out where does D finish? Well, that's going to be down here at the end of the fourth day. And E finishes here down at the end of the seventh day. We can't start until both of those are finished. So we're going to draw activity G on here, starting at this point where D finished, and it's going to be 3 days. And then looking at activity H, it can't start until F and G are both finished and it's 5 days long. So we're going to find out where does F finish. F finishes here at the end of the 5th day, and G finished over here at the end of the 10th day. So we can't start until both of those are done. So we're going to be starting activity H over here. And activity H was 5 days. So we're going to draw it on as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to take us to the end of the 15th day. And then activity I depends on G, so it can't start until G is finished. So we're going to be starting at this point, and it's just 3 days long. So we'll draw this on as 1, 2, 3 days. And activity J can't start until E is finished, and it's 2 days long. So we're going to figure out where did E finish. It is here at the end of the 7th day. So that is where J is going to start up, and it's just 2 days long. So that'll take us to the end of the 9th day on that activity. So there you go. We have completed the Gantt chart. We can see now that the project is expected to be 15 days long, which was not apparent to us when we were only looking at the table of dependencies. And we can also see roughly as we move left to right where activities are starting and finishing as we progress through our project. If you were asked to put your final activity, so the one that finishes very last, at the bottom of the project, you could rearrange this. So you could probably bring like I and J up above G and H and drop G and H down. But I've just put them in this order because that was the order that they were given to us in the table of dependencies. So that depends what you've been asked to do or what your preference is. So hopefully that's helpful. I will put up a link on the screen right now for a video that goes over this exact same project, but it solves the network diagram and critical path. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that one out as well. And otherwise, have an awesome day. See you over there.